Hi my love, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, your girl Julie, and I'm here with another video. So by the title of the video, you already know we're talking about the Mommy's Club episode 5. And before I dive into the video, I want to take this little moment to appreciate those that subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys to my new subscribers, to my returning subscribers. You guys are the main G's. And if you've not subscribed yet and you're watching this video, like, subscribe, please subscribe. Thank you. So yes, let's get straight into the video. So this episode is a little bit better than the previous episode because there's drama in it a little, or they are trying to instigate the whole drama thing. See, what I noticed about this lady here, this lady is they throw shades all the time. They all believe they're on top. When you put different powerful ladies together, one person, there's always gonna be drama because nobody want to listen to the next. Like, you need to listen to me, like, listen to me. That's just my own opinion. Episode 5 started when Her Majesty's daughter was talking to the nanny, explained that Her Majesty traveled to Nigeria, my country. So Her Majesty traveled to Nigeria, Lagos, and the two girls basically talked about the late husband, the one that died. The daughter actually enclosed that, according to her, she said she's happy that the last child won't grow up to know the father because he beats, like she said, who beats his wife. So basically she's just trying to tell us that the father beats the mother, basically. So she's happy that he's not going to see that, or he's not going to witness that. The next scene shows where Nunu and Miss Manchi were having a conversation here, and then they both talked about the previous gathering where what they did and what they said, and they admit to the fact that they're wrong, but they don't mean it in a bad way, right? So they talked about how Her Majesty is in Nigeria. No, she called Her Majesty wanting to like have a conversation to apologize properly, because one-on-one, because she didn't get the chance to do that. So she called Her Majesty wanting to know her whereabouts, and then Her Majesty revealed to her that she's in Nigeria, my country, and she's in Nigeria. So she said she had good news, that then she showed Nunu, or she sent a video of our engagement ring. So she was engaged, she got engaged in Lagos, Nigeria, and Nunu shared the news to Miss Manchi, and both of them actually congratulated Her Majesty. Next scene showed where Nunu was with her nanny, and her nanny informed Nunu on what happened with the last arrangement they did with the nannies, like they met up, and then they talked about her boyfriend, like she told her basically the conversation she and the other lady had. Yes. And Nunu was actually ready to go for Ratili's event, because Ratili invited the ladies for an event. But the ladies got to the event of the 4-pipe invitation, or the four-pipe event. I don't know what that is. I guess it's like a ride or something. Ratili's event, it didn't impress the ladies at all, because they were expecting something more, because Ratili invited the ladies to the mall, right? And that was not exactly where they were expecting to go to. And then they sat down and then they started having a conversation. Ratili introduced the ladies to her friend Teho, and then I think they talked about the differences. Ratili wasn't really happy at why would you even say it in the group, but she said anyway.
Women's kind of like business
events. Yeah.
So there was one time she was helping me out, and she was driving me all around, like, friend, we must look for a cute venue and all that. And she didn't come to my event. And it was such a like.
Nunu went ahead to tell the ladies or the group that Her Majesty is in Nigeria, and I think she wanted to tell the group about the wedding, but Miss Manchi decided to dive in and then say another thing, and then nothing was said. Moving on was when Miss Manchi called Mrs. Mops and then conference the call to Nunu, and then the three of them had like a conference call where they talked about Her Majesty. Actually, they talked about Her Majesty and Nunu. Ah, God, I don't know. No, Nunu spilled the tea, telling the ladies that Her Majesty is getting married. Mrs. Mops, who would know that Mrs. Mop can keep secrets, you guys? Because she knew about the marriage, but she still did not even say anything. Like after Nunu said to the ladies that, oh, Miss Happy is getting married, she did not say, oh, I know about it, I know, she told me. She didn't say no. She acted surprised. Oh wow, really? You know. And then she showed her concern, actually, because she was like, I hope, because her husband, it wasn't even up to a year that her husband died and she's already engaged. That's just Mrs. Mop's, you know, talk. Mrs. Mop and Mrs. Manchi decided to take the both nannies to a spa. But the nannies, actually, they got some massage, which was good. Mrs. Mops and Mrs. Manchi decided to talk about Happy again, and Mrs. Mops only talked about her concern for Happy based on, you don't know, like she don't know if she knows this person she's engaged to, because it's not even up to a year her late husband died, and she's already like accepting another proposal. She, according to her, she said that he was only just showing concern for a friend, that's all. Then the next scene shows when Ratili and Mrs. Mop are having a conversation, and Mrs. Mop can keep secret. I just knew this now. Like, she can't even spill. She won't even say the person that said so, because Ratili was like saying that listen. Ratili told Mrs. Mop that Happy is corny and a clout chaser. The reason why she called Happy a clout chaser,
I am saying Happy is cloud chasing because everything that she literally talks about is literally trending the next day, and there's always a friend that seems to leak it. Who could this friend be, really?
and about the marriage as well, like she knows, like I think Happy told her about the marriage. So she told Mrs. Mob how Happy is a cloud chaser and how she feel Happy wants attention, how she wants to trend, and how, you know, basically just chasing clouds, basically. So Mrs. Mop, out of all those things, the only thing Mrs. Mop was just saying is, yeah, I am just showing concern. It's not up to a year your husband died and you're already talking about an engagement, like you're talking about marriage because you're already engaged now. Are you sure you're happy? Those kind of questions, like that's a friend concern. Like she's concerned, and it's good. It's good. So finally, Her Majesty arrived, and Majesty came back to South Africa, and they showed where she was in a space with Mrs. Mops, and you know, Mrs. Mops welcomed her, and then they both started off with the conversation of how Ratili told Mrs. Mop that Happy is a clout chaser. Happy did not find it funny. She wasn't really, you know, she did not find the conversation or the talk funny, because why would you call me a clout chaser? Like, she wasn't really happy with what Ratili said, and she even wanted to cry because I don't know, like she wasn't really happy with Ratili for her saying that. Like, why would you, she brought Ratili to this group. Even Mrs. Mop noticed at the end that, why would you say this about your friend? Like, I need to be watchful about to you or something like that. So Her Majesty wasn't really happy with what happened, so she explained to Mrs. Mob everything, and she made Mrs. Mob understand that she cannot chase clout. She is viral. Google her, YouTube her. She's popular. She don't chase clout. Clout chase her. That's it. That's it. That's the end of episode 5. It is way better than episode 4. So yes, if you've gotten this part of the video and you've not subscribed, please do well to subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, and thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Bye.